welcome back. Today's episode we're going to do what I call seasoned potatoes. Really what these are is you can see they're cubed russet potatoes. All I'm going to do with these guys, I'm going to season them up, spice them, fry them in a little bit of oil, and we're going to marinate them first after we get the nice flavors and everything coming into them. So here we go, let's get started. Stay tuned. Alright guys, so like I said, today is seasoned potatoes. All we're going to need for this recipe is a russet potato, oregano. Basically this is going to be all in teaspoons. It's going to be oregano, 1 teaspoon of rosemary, 1 teaspoon of basil, 1 teaspoon of thyme, 1 teaspoon of pepper, and half a teaspoon of salt. You can eliminate the salt, it's not that important. I like it, it gives a little more flavor. So all I'm going to do right now is I'm cubing them up. Now I want them to be in pretty good sized chunks here, because that's going to be the key to it. What we're going to do, we're going to put them in this pot, and we're going to boil them halfway cooked. We don't want them all the way cooked. I want them halfway to 3/4. So I want them to be a little softer, but not mushy at this point. I want them still to be firm, but halfway there. So let me go ahead and do that. When I come back, we'll get started on the seasonings. So guys, I'm going to call this basically the teaspoon recipe. This is cooked potatoes. They're not spicy. I call it the teaspoon recipe because basically everything is going to be a teaspoon. Everything you see here is going to have a teaspoon of it in it, except for salt, but I go half a teaspoon. That's just because I don't like a lot of salt in my food when it comes to things like this. But this is fried potatoes. I call them seasoned potatoes, obviously because we have almost every seasoning we can think of except for dill. So we're going to start first things first. Paprika. 1 teaspoon of paprika. 1 teaspoon of thyme. 1 teaspoon of oregano. 1 teaspoon of pepper. 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. Getting the drift yet? Kind of figuring it out. 1 teaspoon of rosemary. 1 teaspoon of basil. There's not much to this recipe, guys. That's why I'm taking my time and going really slow to show you what's in it. 1 teaspoon of cilantro and our half teaspoon of salt. Now, there's one option you can add to this. When I'm making them for just me, I do. It's 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Gives it a little bit of bite, and for me, it makes all the difference in the world. Now, all I'm gonna do is just stir that up in our little bowl here. Now they are fried potatoes, so obviously the key word here is fried. Let's put this aside real quick. Let's get out our Ziploc bag. We're going to take it and we're going to pour all the seasonings right into the Ziploc bag. And give that a nice shake-a-shake-a. Oh, shake-a-shake-a. Okay. That's good. Now, next step is really all I'm going to do is put in about 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. And I'm going to eyeball this because it's not super crazily important here. Let's go a little bit more. Probably maybe a little bit more, but that's fine. So, now that we have that, let's get all that incorporated together. Shake it up really nice. Make sure there's no little pockets of oil or herbs stuck in the corner there. A little bit more here. There we go. That's getting there. Give it a nice smell. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. If your herbs are good, you can tell that it's pretty good. Bless me. Good golly, Miss Molly. Woo. All right. So, we're going to let that sit, kind of marinate for a minute. I'm going to put all this stuff away while I'm waiting for the potatoes to finish cooking. Like I said, they're the big chunk potatoes. They're only going to cook about halfway. I don't want them fully cooked. I want them to be able to sit there and absorb all these spices and flavors and get infused. And when it comes back time to cook them, it'll all be ready in one shot. So let's wait for that. Alright guys, as you can see, our potatoes are boiling. I want them cooked about halfway. I know I keep saying that, but it's so important. You don't want to overcook your potatoes at this point. The main key to this is they have to be halfway done, no more. Because you're going to fry them up in the pan, and that's going to do the finishing up, but you need them to not fall apart, not be mushy or crumbly. You want them to still be pretty solid. So you have to watch this really closely. Something I use is a cake tester for something like this. Just a little wire, as you can see right there. And I'm just going to go in, and not yet. Not yet. Though I am close. I'd say another 3 or 4 minutes and we'll be ready. So when that's ready, I'll come right back. Alright guys, we're back. It's been about 5 more minutes. We are at the stage where I want our potatoes to cool. So all I'm going to do is drain them off here. Get all the excess water out. They are hot. If I can show you kind of right here. See how it goes in, but it doesn't separate and mush apart? That's where I want them to be. If I was going to be really crazy about it, if I thought they were overcooked, I'd put ice on them or cold water and stop the cooking process immediately. But I don't need to do that. Just going to let them cool. Actually, you know what? We might as well go ahead. Let's go ahead and run some cold water on them. Cool them off. Stop the cooking process. We don't need to do it anymore. So let's cool that off. Alright. Now they're still warm, don't get me wrong. They're going to steam up a little bit. But they're much, much cooler. Alright, next step. Alright guys, now we're going to take them out of the bowl and we're going to put them into our mixture of spices here. And our oil. Get all that nice and incorporated. Because it's going to sit in the fridge. Actually, probably not even the fridge. I'll probably just leave it out. Because I'm going to cook this in about an hour and a half. So, let's go ahead and get them in there. Ooh, they're warm. They are hotter than I thought. Jeez. Ouch, 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 ouch. You know what? Dump them. Alright, so, let me get a paper towel here. Bear with me. Get all this off of here, off my tray, my cutting board here. Alright. Now, let's close her up. I try to get most of the air out. So I just want everything to be incorporated into the potatoes. And that's my dogs are playing. You can hear them. And my puppy. It's impossible, guys, to not hear one of my puppies in the background. It's just I have 3 dogs. I'm a dog lover. 3 rescues. Anybody that's new to my channel, that's just how it is. Sorry. That's just how it goes. So there we go. Okay, now, as you can see right there, all the potatoes are covered. They're nicely covered with that oil and those herbs. All those spices on there. Let's see if I can get a little bit more out of that corner. And this corner too, actually. It's got that oregano, that thyme, that rosemary, all of that. And remember, we've cooked these halfway, so we don't have to cook them as long, so these herbs aren't going to burn and ruin the potatoes. The potatoes aren't going to take more than 10 minutes to cook. So all that's going to do, that's going to form like a crust on top of them. It's going to give you this nice bite when you bite into them. They're going to be nice and crispy. It's going to be awesome. It smells good already, but it's going to smell a lot better once we get to that point. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and let this sit. And then we're going to cook them up. So that's it for now, guys. Let me get all the air out of there before I say bye. All right, on to the next step. There we go. All right, guys, next step. Here we go. I got a pan, obviously cast iron for me. I got a little bit of oil in there. All I'm going to do is just cover the bottom of that. You see I got on a bit of a high heat, probably about medium to medium high. I've got my potatoes. It's been marinating in the bag. It's been about an hour and a half. And all I'm going to do is dump them. Simple, guys. Not not a whole lot of stuff to mess with here. I'm going to take them out, and I'm just going to spread them out. Now remember, they've been marinating in the oil and the spices now for a couple hours, so they've had time to absorb all those flavors. So what I do is I like to get everybody on the first try flipped over so that you have the skin's not touching, but the actual meat part of the potato, the inside part. So let me do that real quick. Let's get everything. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. All right, we're pretty much there. Okay. Oh, we should smell it. The thyme, the rosemary. It's really coming off strong now. Definitely. It's very potent, very powerful. It smells delicious. I really can't wait to get this all seared up and fried up. All right, I'm gonna turn the heat down now to low, because the goal that I have now is I want to slow cook them. These herbs, I don't want to burn these herbs and crust them on there until the end. So I'm going to slow cook these for about 15 to 20 minutes. Turn them as I go because I don't want them to burn. And we'll come back in a minute after they've had a chance to settle in here and start to get nice browning. Okay, we'll be right back. Alright, it's been about 5 minutes. They're cooking. Let's turn one over and see how far we're getting. Remember, I've got the heat down really low, so yeah, they're not even starting to brown yet. They're still cooking through. Let's stir them up a little bit. Ah, boy, if you could smell this now, my goodness. You can see that rosemary right there, the thyme, the basil. Oh, man, that's good. That is so very good. There we go. We're starting to get a little crispy brown right there. Good. That's a really good sign. This also is a dish that you can make up ahead of time. Cook three. This is just one. This is 2 potatoes, 2 russet potatoes. I chopped them up. If you do about 3 or 4, you can actually cook them ahead of time. Put them in the fridge, and they'll keep for about 4 or 5 days, sometimes up to a week. And you can just keep having them as sides for lunch or dinner. They go a long way. It's potatoes, so they really go a long way. Let's get this little guy right there turned. All right, let's let them keep cooking. Still going, guys. Probably now it's been about 15 minutes. Let's turn them. Let's see what we got. And there we go. Yeah. Starting to get some nice crispiness on the browning on certain few of them on the outside there. Oh, smells awesome. The house, my whole house just smells like, I don't know. It just smells like fresh herbs. It's amazing. It just smells like you're cooking something that's amazing and you're going to love it. So, this is another little check-in. We're still going. You'll notice low heat. Nothing's burning. Very, very, very slow cooking these. We want to make sure that we don't burn anything and we get those herbs and there's a nice crust on the outside of the potatoes. So, we're still going, guys. I think we're about 20 minutes going on, so let's keep on going forward. Alright, so now we're getting close to the end, guys. Everything's cooked through. They're starting to get nice little crispy edges on them. I'm sure you can see that right there. We're coming pretty much to the point of where now I've taken it off low heat and I've turned it up to medium. So I want to crisp the edges up now really hard. They're fully cooked. They are definitely flavorful and they're going to be awesome. So pretty much in the next 2 minutes they're going to come off. Like I said, I turned the heat up on them a bit. It's going to really start to sear. Let's go right here. Bingo. Yep. Get that right there. Alright. So she's going to start to sear up really good. Let's get this little guy here. And notice, it's not burned. It's crispy. You can see the rosemary is really crispy there. You can see it right there. But it's not burned. It's not charred. So by turning up the heat now, as we're going to give the rest of the potato, the other sides that didn't quite have a chance to slow roast, now they're going to really crisp up. One other way you can cook this, I should have mentioned earlier, was you can oven roast this. It does great oven roasted. It's just not my preferred way of doing it. But if you want to throw it in the oven and turn it probably 2 or 3 times in about half an hour, perfect. You can broil it, you can put it on bake, or you can pan fry it like I do. I'm a big pan fried guy. It's kind of my preferred method of doing things, so I'm a big fan. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up real quick, and we'll give you the finished product. Be right back. Okay guys, just panned them up. They literally just came off. There you go. Seasoned potatoes. Very, very simple. I call it the quarter or the teaspoon recipe. Teaspoon of everything you got, spice-wise, pretty much. I put a link, I think, while I was calling it out to you what the measurements were, but everything's a teaspoon. Let's go ahead and give a taste. Most important part. Let's give her a taste. It's still kind of hot, so let's find one that's kind of small. There we go. Oh my god. Woo! That is not a regular potato. That is a flavor-packed punch tomato. Or potato. Oh my goodness. Wow. I'm not even hungry. Wow. The texture perfect. The flavors bounce around your mouth. You get the rosemary, you get the oregano, get a little bit of the thyme. You don't even taste anything really pepper-wise. It gets a little teeny, I mean the tiniest bit of spice. But everything jumps around in your mouth. It's probably one of the better ones I've made in a long time. And I've made this a lot, so I'm really impressed with this. I'm happy. We'll do one more bite. Yeah. The rosemary, the thyme, the oregano, the basil. Oh, it's everything. It goes around your mouth in like a circle. It's amazing. Anyway, let me go ahead and end this video. Guys, it's simple. It's something you can have cooking in the back burner while you're cooking something else. Low heat, high heat to sear it, low heat, then high heat again to finish it off. Enjoy it, guys. This is one of the better ones. I'm really happy with this one. Give it a try. And I thank you. See you next time. Check out my other channel, The Bearded Gardener, where I actually grow what I cook. Saves a lot of money.